what will happen to our proof of work and proof of stake networks? Did you ask yourself that question? He will just buy them out. And how can we trust something that is owned by one entity, which is artificial intelligence?
I think that's the general question, right? It's like these are this is a topic already one step ahead, right? Most people already figure out what it is, how to deal with it. The ownership question comes when it's too late, right?
We don't have a lot of time yet. And let's go fast forward 5, maybe 20 years from here. The Anthropic founder said it's like 2 years left till we have AGI. And AGI is just an entity that can do anything a person can do, uh, but maybe a little bit smarter. Yeah. And of course, the next
Probably.
stage would be artificial superintelligence. So it may turn out that it takes just a board of directors and maybe one CEO and then the army of AIs to run something like Twitter. It can possibly happen, yeah. And given the infrastructure we have right now, I mean, financial infrastructure, what do you think is the future of all these people who want to work, who want to have meaning in life, something meaningful to do? Or will we become kind of pets that get feeded and get free parties from artificial general intelligence and do nothing? Like, what's your take on that world we will have in our lifetime?
I think, I mean, obviously that's like a big step forward, as you said, right? It's like probably not 5 years. Because there'll be a lot of resistance to a lot of stuff. And until all the companies come on board with this idea, this will take probably a generation to shift. And I think there'll be I mean, I'm convinced there'll be a tremendous shift in how we see the world right now. But, I think it will be scary for a lot of people because it's going to be because the shift will be so intense and so fast, something that we have never seen before to this intensity. Because we never had the possibility of robots, AI, all these it's a very new concept that we know from science fiction movies that's slowly becoming somewhat reality. And as will create a lot of controversy, a lot of ethical questions that need to be answered. And at the same time, it's dangerous, as well as it brings a lot of positivity and obviously productivity and efficiency. But it's a very dangerous thought to have that all this will run by computers that are way smarter than all of us combined. Right. And I think a lot of people are even more scared than this because that means that they lose their job, their ability to generate money. But also at the same time, it gives opportunities to make money in areas that we never thought it would be possible. Right. So I think there has to be a big shift in thinking, a big shift in acting is going to be required from us as humans in order to cope with that exponential increase of artificial intelligence being basically available at almost no cost. Right. And that's, I think, the biggest thing here is that this technology, unlike computers or other things that takes years for it to be affordable, is immediately affordable and most of the time for free. And as stuff that is for free and useful, the adoption will be a lot faster. That requires a lot of energy that has to be provided somehow. That's what we're obviously talking about having data centers and stuff like this in space, because eventually the energy requirement will be bigger than most countries of single
Yes.
companies. And that will be a challenge to even provide that in order to basically fuel this transformative period. So there's still a lot of unsolved questions that sound amazing on paper, but the resources are still a questions and who will finance all that. And I think it's a great time now to get familiar that this world will eventually be like this. if you like it or not. In some countries, it will definitely be faster than in others. Depends if it's emerging countries or established countries. But I think it's now is the time to get familiar with these tools and already get that kind of head start to a lot of other people that will get to this wave when it's too late, as most of the time. Because you have now people that are already fully using AI or making all the money with AI, and they're learning ahead of the time, which is relevant because a lot of people be shocked when they walk in office and the whole thing will look different, right? Um, but I do think that AI has a lot of possibilities and a lot of challenges that need to be explored. And if not handled correctly, it definitely can become a big challenge for what and how we see the world right now.
So I was following from like 2011 the researcher on AI element and safety who was working back then on that already. And 4 years ago, he said that there is no hope left once AGI, artificial superintelligence, as well rises, let's say. It will be 99.9% over for humanity due to the fact that he will be following some kind of goals that were set for him, which are not aligned with the goals of humanity. And the progress is moving too fast compared with the progress of alignment. And, well, the problem is that it will be either controlled on its own, right? And get out of the control of the corporation that created it. Or it will be in the hands of the government or corporation, which might be even worse, in my opinion. And people don't care on how we can actually, let's say, distribute the ownership of this thingy coming at all. Yeah, because let's say, and also what will happen to our proof of work and proof of stake networks? Did you ask yourself that question? He will just buy them out. And how can we trust something that is owned by one entity, which is artificial intelligence?
I think that's the general question, right? It's like these are this is a topic already one step ahead, right? Most people already figure out what it is, how to deal with it. The ownership question comes when it's too late, right? When one country, one government, one entity will dominate and basically predict and dictate everything you do and how you do it because they own all the data, they own all the workflows, the processes, potentially a big volume of the capital that's transacted. Might not just be one company, right? It might be a couple of different companies. But again, it's the same thing where like rich people get richer and poor people get poorer, right? Because the person who controls it is obviously has a big power, right? And I think that's the way like Elon Musk is actually rolling at the moment. Becoming a first trillionaire soon and all these different things that are insane, right? And in some other countries in the world, people don't have food. And they
Yeah.
obviously don't give a hell about AI at the moment and who it
And it's
owns and
getting
what it
worse,
does.
yeah, I believe.
And it's getting worse, right? Um, yeah, it's a very interesting future. I'm very excited personally. But it's going to be a very interesting period to live over the next like 20 to
So
50 years.
Uh, that would be a little bit spoiler, but so there is a book written by our team member about the next, let's say, 30, 40 years. And the world he envisions is like we have this this swarm of artificial general intelligences, right? Because it probably won't be one, and they kind of work with each other to build the data centers, and they even have their own territories. Then you have this corporate world of humans, which is basically a dystopia, right? Where the corporations control every your like they watch after every your move after you become 18 by injecting Neuralink into you, and they see everything, and they can even I don't know change the emotions you're feeling at the moment, things like that. But there is always some kind of resistance. And resistance is actually using the Humanode tech, which is like a financial system and a layer which humans control on an equal basis. And eventually, these are like three superpowers distributed across the earth, and they try to negotiate with each other. And mostly, of course, they negotiate through AI because it's much easier to talk to AI than to people in power, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it sounds like possible because that would be awesome if we all live in the financial system equally owned by humans, where everybody takes part in the consensus of this, let's say, layer one, and where you have AIs transacting on this layer one and actually paying fees, distributing among all the people. This is something we're working on, but I'm afraid we might become resistant and not the main financial rail of the world. Yeah, because there was always the power struggle, and usually it's always owned by you know whom. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice statement. I like it.
This is why we're still here, and we're never going to stop working on Humanode, however bad the market is,
Yeah.
because we believe in it.